Hi guys, I'm Carmen.
And I'm Jennifer.
And together we are the Vagina Blueprint.
We are changing the way we talk about women's health, so make sure you're subscribed on your favorite streaming platform.
The information in this podcast is intended as general education only and should not be used as medical advice, treatment, or assessment.
We can't wait to share our passion with you and bring you in on this conversation.
Today we are talking about the pelvic floor, the big PF word. What the heck, what the hell is the pelvic floor? What does it do? How does it work? Because I feel like nobody really knows this.
It's like a mystery.
Yes. It's funny because a lot of people think they know what it is, but they don't.
It's like we make it all about peeing ourselves.
Yeah, I know. And then people only ask questions about it when there's a problem with it.
And only if they have a problem where it's like, I'm peeing myself. What is that? I obviously have a pelvic floor issue. And you're like,
yeah. Yeah, no, it's only when they have a problem. It would be like having a car and never getting an oil change or never having maintenance done and just waiting until it breaks down to have anything done to it.
Yeah.
And then being like, well, I don't know how this works.
I haven't had windshield wiper fluid in years.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. I have patients come in all the time that go, oh yeah, I know what a pelvic floor is. And then you ask them and then they have no idea. Or you ask what a Kegel is, which we're not doing that today.
Oh my gosh, that's a whole topic on its own.
That's another one. But yes, so what the hell, HE double hockey sticks is the pelvic floor? Do you want to tackle this one first?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what I would tell people is, it's like, for me, I look at it as like the base of our whole kinetic chain, right? Like there's all these things that end and start in this pelvic bowl. So it's really like the foundation, right? Like there's so much that happens there. There's so much that's collected in there. Your nervous system, your musculature, it's a lot.
Yeah. That I always say that. I say that the pelvic floor is like the foundation of a home because it really is the base of everything. And it has so many functions. And I always say the pelvic floor is the most important muscle group in the whole body because no other muscle group has that many functions. Like the shoulder doesn't control anything else but shoulder movement and maybe some lymphatic drainage with pumping, with the muscle contracting. But the pelvic floor has so many functions. So, yeah, how do we tackle this first? I would say, I would agree with you that the pelvic floor is like the foundation. But usually the way I describe it to my patients is that the pelvic floor is a group of muscles at the base of the pelvis that does 5 different things. And so I always tell them it controls bowel and bladder function. It plays a role in sexual function and therefore fertility, right? Because if that's not functioning properly, we can't procreate. Also plays a role in stabilizing the pelvis and controlling the way we move through our pelvis. And I always say, we wouldn't be able to kind of move and groove if it wasn't for our pelvis. We would be very robotic because our hips would only move. Also, lymphatic drainage acts as a sump pump, right? To pump everything back up and then obviously holding all the organs. Yeah. So it has so many functions, but yet no one ever goes to the gym and says, let's do pelvic floor day.
No, they don't. They're like, pelvic floor? Skip. Swipe.
Like most people don't even know that those muscles are there, and it blows my mind because it has so many important functions. Not to mention that many people suffer from issues with those functions.
Right? And we're so disconnected from it. It's like we've been taught for so long not to talk about these things too. So then there's like this like mind muscle disconnect. Yes. So we're just like, oh, it's leg day, but they don't think about how their pelvic floor impacts leg day.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's where it comes down to this being the foundation.
Right.
Right. And I would say if there's a crack in the foundation of your home, the house can stand, but it won't last for a very long time unless the foundation itself is strong. But yet we do nothing to keep the foundation of our body strong.
No.
We spend all the time fixing the walls, fixing the drywall, fixing the windows, fixing the structures
It's
above
like the quick
foundation.
fixes without actually addressing the root cause of what's playing out over there.
100%. It's crazy. It blows my mind. So, I mean, I guess that covers like what is the pelvic floor, but how does it play a role in helping all the other muscles function? I guess that's like the pressing question, because a lot of people, I think, don't really comprehend why the pelvic floor is connected to the hips and the knees and the feet. How would you explain that?
Oh, God.
It's a tough question. And like, I have a hard time answering that with patients because unless you understand anatomy, that can be really hard. So the way I explain it is the pelvic floor stabilizes the pelvis. Our friends on the podcast won't be able to see this, but if you're listening through podcast, tune into YouTube because you'll be able to see the model of this. But the way I always explain it, so if you were looking at the pelvis with the two hip bones on either side and then the spine and the sacrum in the middle, the muscles of the pelvic floor are the muscles at the base, right? The muscles that come out from that area are the muscles that supply into the hips, which then go down into the knees and down into the ankles and so on and so forth. So if the muscles of the pelvic floor aren't functioning properly to stabilize here, then what happens is the brain goes, okay, clearly you're not doing your job right now, so we have to recruit other muscles to help out. So then your muscle or your body, your brain goes and recruits muscles through the front of the core here. So your psoas muscle, your hip flexor muscles, plus your transverse abdominis through here, which doesn't always function the best. And sometimes we need to recruit that one as well. But
that's another one I feel like it's hard for people to connect to.
Oh, but so hard.
Because you don't see it.
Exactly. And I think that's why pelvic floor is so hard to engage as well.
Yeah.
But the body recruits those muscles, and then you've got your glutes that come in, and then your quads and your hamstrings and your back muscles. And the body goes, I got this. The brain goes, I got this. You know, you don't want to do your job. We got you. And that's great short term, but long term, that catches up with us because it's not their job.
Right.
Their job is not to stabilize. Their job is to allow us to move our limbs, move our legs. And so when they get recruited to do the job of the pelvic floor, then they burn out. They get tired. And then we wonder why we have back pain, hip pain, knee pain, which tons of research has shown that those kinds of things are linked to pelvic floor dysfunction as well. And that's what blows my mind too, because most people think that, oh, if I'm peeing, then I have pelvic floor dysfunction. But in most cases, you're dealing with dysfunction long before leaking ever occurs, right? It's this back pain, hip pain, knee pain that can sometimes signal that there's a problem long before you even know there's a problem.
Right. Foot pain. I feel like that's been a big one that's come up for clients of mine lately is they're having like issues with like plantar fasciitis. And I'm like, this all makes sense from the ground up.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's all connected. It's like that song. I always sing that song. The hand bone's connected to the arm bone. Arm bone's connected to the...
It's true.
You know, it's all connected.
It is.
It's a song from when we were children, but it like stands true. Everything is connected and it's all linked. And if one part is not working, the rest of the adjacent parts aren't going to work properly either, unless we can fix the source of the problem.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm so passionate about this, because I think if we can fix the core, the foundation, if we can fix the crack in the foundation of the house, we don't have to fix all the other things because there's not going to be all those problems.
Right. It all has to work together. That's another thing that I like to share with my clients too. Like that, like you were talking about like the glutes and all of that, how they're all linked in, but they all need to work together. Like they're all working on the same team. And that's how you feel best in your house. Your house is stable. And when they all work as a team and it's not like, oh, I'm going to slack off over here and let the glutes get all the jobs. I'm just going to be hanging out.
It's like a group project.
Yes.
Where there's multiple people working on the project and one person is a slacker and they're not doing their job. And they're just going along for the ride. But I always explain it. What if that one person that's slacking has some really valuable information to provide and they're leaving it out, and now you end up with an 80% on the project? Well, I mean, 80% is a good mark, I know. But
still, it could have been 100.
Exactly. And this is where if you get all the muscles working together as a team, then you get 100% on the project.
Exactly.
And we don't deal with the aches and the pains and the woes and the hoes.
The hoes. Them hoes.
Of the human body falling apart. I was trying to rhyme there.
Oh my god. Another like song. This is, you don't need to add this in.
Yes, we do.
Oh my god. In the car today, have you ever heard the song Fuck It? So I was playing that for a bit. You probably have, and you don't even realize that that's what it's called, because it would never be called that on the radio. It's talking about fuck you, you hoe. I don't want you back.
That's not called Fuck It, is it?
It is.
Isn't that called I Don't Want You Back?
Maybe for the radio, but it's actually called Fuck It.
No, that's an old song.
It's an old song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that song.
It's a good song.
Fuck what I said. It don't mean shit now. It's a good song.
It is a good song. Back in.
So pelvic floor, extremely important, but yet most people don't know what it is, don't know how to use it, and have no idea why it's important.
Mm-hmm.
And it blows my mind.
I think it doesn't come into our brains until like after we have babies too.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear like people with children and their kids are like jumping on trampolines and starting to have issues, and they're starting to ask the questions because they're going through that too themselves. They're like, I can't jump on a trampoline and I pee. She's not had children, so what's going on there? Like, is it something the same or is it different?
Right. But even then, I have talked to women who pee their pants when they jump, laugh, sneeze, cough, and they think it's normal because they've had kids.
Yeah.
They kind of go, well, yeah, I do that, but that's because I've had children.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's common, but it's not normal.
Right? Like, yes, this does happen more frequently after we have kids, but it doesn't have to stay that way.
No, and it shouldn't.
Exactly.
If that's happening, that's not good. It's signaling that there's a problem.
And there's probably more than one problem going on. It's never just, just the pee.
Yeah. No, 100%. And then the problem is they let that go because they think it's not a problem. And then it stays like that for a while, but then later on in life, it does become even more of a problem.
Yes.
Like I'm seeing women in their 50s, late 50s, and now it's so bad that they have to wear a pad all day long.
Yes.
They can't function because they don't want to go out into the community because they're worried that they're going to have an accident.
Yes.
Or worse, they've been told that they have to have surgery in order to fix it. And now they've had surgery and it may have helped short term, but now it's causing all these other problems, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not that surgery is a bad thing or that you shouldn't do that, but you need to exhaust all your options before going that route.
I completely agree.
And we carry that thought process in every other realm of the body. So why is it not the same for the pelvic floor?
Because we want to tuck it away, put it back in our pants and not talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like shame.
Yes.
So much shame in that. And that's like, think about that too. Like I love like the emotional state of like pelvic floors. And I like to talk about that a lot and go into that. But we hold so much shame and emotion just in that pelvic bowl area to start with, period, without any like actual contributing factors like the pee and that stuff. Having to talk about it, like women are just not okay with talking about these areas. We're just not.
Yeah. But that's because of what society has trained us
like
to think.
Like we shouldn't talk about it. It's dirty. It's gross. Like,
well, tell the story. I don't know if you should tell that story.
Oh no. Which one?
About oh my gosh, what was it? We were talking to a family member and they knew that our podcast was going to be called The Vagina Blueprint.
Oh.
What was the word that was put in the sentence?
What did he say? It was my father-in-law. What did he say? He always... Oh, yeah. I was at his house and he opened up my stories. And he always watches all my stories. And he was like, oh, click. I had it covered so it didn't say the Vagina Blueprint on it. It was like a sneak peek kind of thing.
Yeah.
Clicks it, opens it. His face, he was like horrified.
Yeah.
But what did he say? I cannot remember what he said. It's something
I
basically
think he
like,
said that. I think you said he said that word. Horrifying.
Yeah.
I think he said,
He probably did.
What? Vagina? That's horrifying.
I think he felt like, what the fuck is my daughter-in-law into?
But it's the simple fact that to him, seeing that word was horrifying to him.
Yes.
And like, really, that's why we started this. Because that's the mentality.
Right.
That talking about our vaginas is horrifying. Referring to our vaginas is horrifying. Discussing our vaginas is horrifying.
Yes.
That word itself is horrifying when in reality it's just a body part.
Right.
An important, a very, very important and special body part.
Like,
yes.
Like 100 years ago, an ankle. Like, we couldn't show ankles.
Oh my gosh.
Could they not say ankles out in society? Was that a taboo thing too? She said ankle.
I have no idea, but ridiculous. But how ridiculous was that?
Right?
So to me, this idea that we can't say vagina or that we shouldn't say vagina and that we should say pee-pee to our children and not vagina and penis, that to me, that's horrifying.
Yes.
Because it's just creating this secrecy around something that we should be talking about because it's a bodily part and so important for survival. So why aren't we talking about it?
It's like we're affirming the shame when we don't just speak it.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what we're doing. And it hurts us and it hurts our kids.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that I have been so adamant about with my kids that we don't use words like pee-pee and
cookie.
Yeah. What? Like, who calls it that? Coochie. I do say hoo-ha a lot.
Hoo-ha.
You're hoo-ha. But no, it's a vagina and a penis.
Right? My kids just say that. Well, my son says wiener, and I do not like that word. Like, I wish he did not say that. But if I say penis to him, he's like, wiener. Penis.
It's like, did you ever watch New Girl?
No.
You didn't?
Nope.
We're watching it. For anyone listening, if you've seen the show New Girl, there's an episode where she can't say the word penis. And he basically said, I'm pretty sure it's the episode, spoiler alert, if you're watching the show, I apologize. But it's an episode where she's seen his penis, I'm pretty sure. And then he's like, I need to see yours. Like, you saw mine, now I have to see yours. But the whole episode, she won't say penis. And they'll be talking about it. And he's like, I don't understand why you can't say it. And she'll go, penis. She cannot say the word.
Oh my God.
Winky. She can't say it. And but that's the reality of it, you know?
We feel some type of way about saying these words.
Yeah.
It is funny.
But yet we're okay with elbow and knee and nose and mouth.
So many of us will like have sex and still not be able to say these words. Like, that's a little problematic.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like eating and not saying tongue. How dare you say that horrifying word, tongue. Oh, my 2-year-old goes around saying that she has a vagina. So she goes, I have a vagina and Lincoln has a penis.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's my breakfast talk every morning. My son reaffirms who has what around the breakfast table. Mommy has a vagina. Daddy has a wiener. And then he's like, goes through everybody. And then he'll do the neighbors too. Like, everybody gets their check every morning.
Yep. Yep.
I'm like, good. I'm glad you know these
Let's
things.
spell it now.
Right? This is wonderful.
The best is when we're in public, though, and she walks up to somebody and is like, do you have a vagina or a penis? I'm like, okay.
Very curious. Embrace the curiosity.
They do look at us like we're horrified. But you know what? We're going to change that.
Exactly.
Because that's what we're doing.
Right? Like, I don't know about you, but I grew up in a house where that was like, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
We didn't say those words.
No, for sure. Absolutely not.
Like, when I first started saying this, just because my daughter was like 2 and I was like, you have a vagina. Like, this is what's up, bro.
Yeah.
And then my mom was like, what are you saying to her? And I'm like, what? Like, she has this.
Yeah.
I can't keep going down that road. I'm off the road, man.
But that's what, and we've kind of said this before, but that is where all this shame starts.
Mm-hmm.
Because don't touch it, don't talk about it, don't look at it, keep it to yourself, lock it in, and let's not even discuss that area of your body.
Ever. Period.
Yeah.
Full stop.
No, but that's where the shame starts.
Right.
And then we become adults, and because we're ashamed to talk about it, we don't talk about any problems we're having, nor do we even know what the damn thing is.
Right.
Because we have refused to talk about it our whole life.
We're literally like I said at the top of this, like the disconnect.
Yeah.
That happens. We just mentally shut it off. So there's no like, I don't know about your people that you work with, but do you find like a lot of them when they start to dig into it more, they're like shocked what's actually like buried in there, like the symptoms, and they start to connect the dots to like all these other things, and they're just like, oof. Like sometimes it can be really a lot for people once they start to delve into it. They're like, holy shit.
Oh, for sure. And then I often, like, as I said, I'll have people come in because they're leaking, having incontinence. But then we start talking about all the other symptoms, and they often will come in and go, I don't know if I have a pelvic floor issue, but like I figured we might as well try this because I've tried everything else. And then I start listing off all the other things, and they go, well, I have that. Well, I have that. Well, I had that. Well, that happened to me. Oh my gosh. And I haven't even said you have pelvic floor dysfunction. And that's just from the history. Yeah. I haven't even done a physical assessment yet. That's before we even get to the physical assessment.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild. I didn't think I had any issues. And then I started digging into like the courses I was in, and I was like, okay.
Yes.
Here we are.
I do have pelvic floor dysfunction.
Right? I probably have all of these.
Pelvic Floor Dysfunction Anonymous. PFDA.
PFDA.
Yes, I have pelvic floor dysfunction. And I am not ashamed.
Yeah. Talk it out.
So, needless to say, the pelvic floor, as I always say, is the most important muscle group in the entire body. It is the base. It is the foundation. It is the core of everything. And if there's a crack, it literally is the core. Yeah.
People don't realize that either.
Well, and that's it, right? It's the core. It's the foundation. It's part of what stabilizes us. And if there's a crack in your foundation, the house won't stand.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that analogy.
I love the pelvic floor. And I love you.
I know. Love you.
Love you.